Hello, this is Grinstar, and today I'm going to show off in Bitwig what I'm calling one button chaos. This thing, if you can see this is made in the grid here, and this is a polygrid because of what it needs to do. I don't think it'd work in note grid, but probably to find out what I wanted to do is have these are modulator outs, and I have it actually arranged wrong. That's probably good because now I can fix it. Um, Basically, what this is supposed to do is that there's a button gate on each of these sample and holds. So we go into the sign mod. The sign mod could have different ways of variables. And what I want to do is kind of have a sample and hold LFO that goes up and down. Yeah, there's the extra one that's missing. So basically, what it is that each one of these samples and holds go into another sample and hold that is gated by the button here, and then goes up to each one of these modulators for which I have. Let me get back to my thing here. So I got pigments here that normally here. Let me turn off my processing here. Normally in pigments is a just standard default thing. So I want to mess around with it. So I made this polygrid that in the FX is going to have Valhalla Supermassive, but I want to get sort of crazy with the settings. And this is something that I've been wanting to do ever since I was first learning to mess around with digital audio production. Is a lot of these buttons didn't know what they do, didn't know how they affected the sound, and I just wanted to put on random presets. So basically, move this mix to a random location, move this width to a random location, delay, warp, and that kind of stuff. And it's possible within Bitwig, within all the modulations. But the problem is that a lot of them aren't kind of gated really well. So where you can hit it and then it'll just pop up with a crazy random selection, and then stay there until you hit the button again. So I kind of did that with the grid here. So basically, okay. So I got sidetracked. Sorry. So realistically, this button is supposed to gate these sample and holds, which goes out to these modulators. These modulators are up against this Valhalla Supermassive, as you can see the little blue lines here. They're modulating different ones, and if I click on each of them, you can see that this one goes to mix, and then a button. Actually, we need to take that off. So the mix knob. So it'll set the mix of the thing. This one should set the delay sync. This one will set the delay note. Sorry. Delay milliseconds. And it takes a little bit of effort to set this up, but once it's set up, it's actually pretty cool. And this one does the feedback. So each one of these knobs in the first 6, and then you can just replicate this, by the way, over and over and over again. So for every one of these, it has a separate hold, it's gated, and it doesn't send out information. So let's say that if we were to put a oscilloscope down here, and then pop it in between the sample and hold, you can see that the line's going, but nothing's going on. So I got this button aligned with this button here, so when I click it, as you can notice that it clicks. But also what it does is that you see the line moved. So if I click the button again, line moves. Click the button again, line moves. Click the button again, line moves. And it's only moving when I'm clicking the button. So I'm forcing the sample and hold here to hold the whatever it is value until it receives another button click or a gate, basically. So it's a gated sample and hold, which is pretty cool. So every one of these modulations will hold their random position based upon a sample and hold for the button. So it'll give, every time I click it, it should move the buttons around depending on the modulation. So as you can see, the line's bouncing around. And therefore, it should change around supermassive whenever I click the button, which allows you to kind of have totally random presets, controlled. So therefore, I think it's kind of low. I can even do it where if I want, I can have it influence the type of reverb I got with Valhalla. And then once you find a good preset you like, you can actually, save the preset on your normal thing if it supports it, right? So now I got it all into a preset, or I can save it as a part of the presets and Bitwig. Allows you to pretty much creatively get some randomness in there with your preset if you just want to hear what different things are. And you can drag and drop another thing in here, and I think the only problem is that you have to manually map these. There might be a better way of kind of assigning, and this is kind of why the effects is kind of important, and why the polygrid is kind of important for this setup. Is that this kind of behavior works in polygrid really well, but not in the other ones for which you can manipulate from the modular out. So basically, audio in, audio out, so it acts like a bypass, and then all of these are just modulators, just to modulate the next things in line. You could, if you want to get really creative, create a chain, put them all in the chain into the effects, and then do the same thing with the like a macro buttons in later on in the chain, and add a whole bunch of macros that later influence the rest of it to get even more craziness and over um, more of the effects. So let's say that in fact I just didn't only want um, the echoes. I also wanted the chorus to be added, so you can drag and drop and then control the chorus also with these buttons. I can either do it on these, or I can do it on the like the chain if it was a part of the chain. But now, and boom, you got it. And then basically you can save this off in as a preset to your library and say one button chaos, and then you can say preset or something. Um, and then whatnot. And then every time you need something, you can just drag and drop the stuff in there, or take it out and then use these to modulate to do it over. Um, Probably I would go a step further and map them to the let me get it back here and map them to, let's say, another modulator here. Um, I modulate this, but either or buttons, like modulate it to a set of buttons, and then use the things to modulate this, and then have this modulate out or something. Per voice. That'd be interesting. At any rate, either or. There's a lot of different things you can do past this point to one up the style of modulation. Um, but it's actually pretty cool, so that you can get a limited set of randomness per button click, so you can control the amount of craziness that you're doing. So you can, like, as soon as you like it, save it. And this is what I want to go with right here. This setup, and it never changes past that button. So it allows it to change. And as you can see, the blues in here changing. On my button clicks, they're not changing unless I click the button. And this button is a weird behavior right here. You have to actually click it twice, off on. So it works only on the pulse, and I'm not really aware of how I can get the button to act better, or if I click it, it'll go back to the off state. But either way, it's workable. It's a good workaround. So anyway, hope you liked the video. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.